ambiguous yet characterized by its adherence to a specific set of beliefs. Ang kapangyarihan ng relihiyon ay nakatago sa kakayahan nito to bring people together, to persuade and usher the people into a new perspective, a new life. Pero alam mo bang nakapagdudulot din ng relihiyon ng gulo at ng mga unwanted events?
We begin with Nigeria, where a woman has been beaten to death and set on fire on college premises. She was a student in this college. Her killers were her own classmates. What was her crime? Blasphemy.
Muslims and Hindus violently clashing on the streets of the capital, Delhi, during a month meant to be holy for both groups.
Drag artist Puraluka Vega is facing new criminal charges for allegedly offending religious feelings.
Ethnic clashes between the Hindu majority Metis community and the tribal Christian Kuki minority over land and influence in the state has left at least 180 people dead and over 500 injured.
Maraming bagay ang hindi alam ng mga taong bayan tungkol sa relihiyon. We are here to change that.
Nagsisimba ka ba? O isa ka ba sa mga miyembro ng ilang relihiyon dito sa Pilipinas? O di kaya may gusto kang malaman tungkol sa mga nakapaloob dito? Pues, nasa tamang video ka. Pag-usapan natin ang isa sa mga naging usapin sa bansang Pilipinas patungkol sa relihiyon upang maunawaan natin kung bakit nga ba nagkakaroon ng kaibahan sa mga ito. Halimbawa, noong 2015, dumalaw ang kasulukuyang pinuno ng simbahang Katolikong Romano sa Pilipinas na si Pope Francis at nagdiwang ng misa sa Luneta. Ang bilang ng mga taong Pilipino na dumalo rito sa aktibidad pang-relihiyon ay higit kumulang 6 hanggang 7 milyon. Samantala, ang taunang pista ng Nazareno ay humigit kumulang 250,000 hanggang mahigit 1 milyong deboto sa Quiapo. Despite this displays of force, Filipinos have no concept of so-called solid Catholic vote. Anong vote at political sway ba ang tinutukoy dito? Himay-himayin natin. Magsimula tayo sa simbahang Katolikong Romano. Roman Catholicism has long been a part of Filipino society, with it originally having come from our Spanish conquerors who came and evangelized the Philippines among other things. Dahil dito, ang kakulangan sa pampulitikang kapangyarihan na ipinapakita ng simbahang Katolikong Romano kumpara sa Iglesia ni Cristo ay maaari nating maipaliwanag ng mas malawak pa. Una sa lahat, hindi naman talaga nagkukulang sa pampulitika na kapangyarihan ang simbahang Katolikong Romano. May mga dahilan lang talaga pumipigil dito para isagawa ito. Para maintindihan pa natin lalo, let's go back to Philippine history in 19th century before the Philippine Revolution. Rolando Gripaldo, one of the well-known Filipino philosopher, in his 2013 book, Filipino Philosophy, a Western Tradition in an Eastern Setting, calls this period the Filipino Enlightenment, a time when Filipino intellectuals who stayed in the Philippines learned about the Enlightenment period by reading about the Spanish Revolution and, more importantly, the French Revolution, where they were able to glean ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity, and about the current situation of the Philippines through the different works and novels of Jose Rizal, a Filipino national hero and summoned death, like Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Jacinto. Grifaldo views as an Enlightenment thinker. The French Revolution, which sparks ideas of church-state separation under the monarchy, is essential to our discussion. It is described in Encyclopedia Britannica as a time of fleeting upheaval for both the monarchy and the church, and the time of terror and bloodshed, sought to end the suffering of the people due to the monarchy's flaws and the inequality between the peasant, the third estate, and the nobility and clergy, the first and second estate. Both France and the Philippines share certain commonalities before and during the French and Philippine revolutions. For one, the greed and inadequate state leadership in the church and action and support caused hardship for both French and Filipinos, particularly the lower classes. Another was that the French and Filipino people wanted change and were forced to take action. In the First Philippine Republic, church-state separation was still a concern. Karagdagang kaalaman. Alam niyo ba noong 1989 isinulat ni David Lim ang Church and State in the Philippines? at kasama sa konstitusyon ng malolos ang konstitusyon ng unang Republika ng Pilipinas, ang paghihiwalay ng simbahan at estado? Tama kayo sa inyong narinig. Dahil sa paghihiwalay ng dalawang ito, ang simbahang Katolikong Romano ay hindi maiimpluwensyahan ng mga Pilipino o ang kanilang mga miyembro kung sino dapat ang iboto at hindi dapat iboto. Ang tanong, why is political sway often attributed to a much lesser rival in terms of numbers of the faithful, kagaya na lamang ng Iglesia ni Cristo? Dahil nakapaglahad na tayo ng mga impormasyon mula sa simbahang Katolikong Romano, dumako naman tayo rito sa isa pang relihiyon, ang Iglesia ni Cristo. Naging matunog ang Iglesia ni Cristo lalo na kapag usaping pampolitika. Bakit nga ba? Bakit itong relihiyon na ito? Despite the Iglesia ni Cristo's efforts to criticize Protestants, Catholics, and other Christian denominations as false churches, INC still receives attention from Catholics and Protestant politicians during election period due to the requirements of bloc voting for INC followers. Consequently, Filipino politicians make significant efforts to participate in INC celebrations to further their own objectives. Teka, ano muna ba ang bloc voting? Ito ay isang kasanayan kung saan may dalawang karaniwang tinatanggap na kahulugan na halos nagkakapareho. Una, ang isang relihiyon ay nagkasundo na iboto ang isang kandidato na kaparehas ng kanilang pagiging relihiyoso. At pangalawa, ang mga relihiyosong leader ay inalok nila ang mga miyembro nila na iboto ang mga espesipikong kandidato. At para sa Iglesia ni Cristo, ito ay ang pagkakaroon ng pagkakaisa o they view unity as sacred unity, one that is absolute unity for this unity. God, Christ, and the Church are joined together or united. Kapag sinabi nating unity, malamang ito ay nakakapaghatid ng pagkataka. Sa politika lang kaya mayroon? Paano naman sa ibang institusyon? Sa minimal na diskusyon, mayroon pa rin naman tinatawag na unity sa ibang institusyon. Kabilang na rito ay sa pamilya. Halimbawa, kapag ang mapapangasawa ng isang miyembro ay hindi kabilang sa INC, nararapat itong mag-convert. Dahil kung ang partner pa nito na INC ang magko-convert, ito ay hindi papayagan. Marahil ito ay may tinatawag na negative sanction, ang konsepto ng tiwala. Sa relihiyon mismo, ang mga aktibidad ng mga miyembro ng INC, ang pagkakaisa ay talagang nakalapat na rito. Halimbawa na lamang ay sa konsepto ng pamamahayag, paghahandog, pagtupad at iba pa. Basically, there is a high regulation when it comes to their activities. Because of that, they more likely can keep the unity inside their church. Bumalik tayong muli sa politika. Ang focus itong usapin. Bakit importante o kapansin-pansin ang mga turo nila sa politika? At bakit sa Pilipinas lang mayroon neto? One of the reasons why, based on the answers of the citizens from different countries that are part of the INC, Filipino or not, apparently the bloc voting is not applicable or it's not seen because participating in their own country's elections are not obliged to vote as one due to the some sort of tax exemption thing. If teaching of unity is very important for them, why it is not practiced globally? Do you wonder? One thing that is evident here is because there are differences in laws and beliefs across the countries. The political sway of the Iglesia ni Cristo can be attributed to their strong communal spirit and camaraderie among their members, enabling them to exercise united political power. Due to their strong sense of solidarity, the bloc vote is deeply rooted in their community. Tinatawag nating collective consciousness. Sa madaling salita, mayroon silang iisang notion kung ano ang tama sa mali, na itinuturo galing sa mga religious leaders na kanilang membro. However, as compared to Catholics, this voting approach is not as obviously evident. Bakit? Isa sa mga dahilan ay mayroong iba't ibang desisyon ang mga miyembro ng simbahang Katolikong Romano. Isa na riyan kapag usaping pagboto sa politika. Kung babalikan natin ang diskusyon kanina tungkol sa paghihiwalay ng simbahan at estado. In their terms functionalist approach, the purpose of INC's action is to establish social cohesion by creating a common bond through shared symbols, norms, and values. They engage in these activities collectively to foster social regulation, ethical values, and equal treatment, exclusively understood by members of that particular religion. This practice is commonly referred to as religious solidarity by those who support it. By endorsing individual candidates, the INC exerts a more direct effect on the outcome of elections. Due to the significant disparity in the size of two religious groups, Roman Catholics, being the predominant religious group in the Philippines, may encounter conflict if they were to propose a bloc voting system, while many may go along with their requests. It is not guaranteed that they would genuinely agree with or follow them. Let's move to another well-known sociologist, Karl Marx. In his concept of cultural hegemony, the actors, in this case INC believers, are completely unaware that they are being victimized by the system. They think this system is acceptable. The act is typically carried out through social institutions, which allow those in power to exert a major impact over the rest of society's values, norms, ideas, expectations, worldview, and behavior. But they do not regard it as a form of pressure because, at the end of the day, it is still in their hands whether to obey their church principles because no one can see their voting results to prove that they did not. Makikita natin na ang pamumuno at mga regulasyon sa isang relihiyon ay isa sa mga kadahilanan na nakakaapekto sa pagiging relihiyoso ng isang tao. This factor impacts people's general devotion to religion as it shapes their understanding of moral principles and aligns with religious beliefs and teachings from their religious leader. Also, in terms of disparity among churches and beliefs and conceptualizations, it arises from the different interpretations and understanding of these notions inside their respective religious communities. Sa madaling salita, nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang interpretasyon depende kung saang relihiyon sila nabibilang at kung ano ang mga bagay na dapat ituro sa kanila sa loob ng kanilang simbahan. Ngayon, babalikan ulit natin yung tanong. At sa tingin ko, napapaisip ka na. Then, why is the Iglesia ni Cristo allowed to have political sway over its members and not the Roman Catholic Church? The answer to this is essentially grounded on the idea that Roman Catholic Church is more likely to be subjected to criticism the moment it tries to do so because of its history. The significant engagement in religious activities in the Philippines is evidence of the profound religiosity and cultural importance of the religion in the Filipino society. The political sway of the Iglesia ni Cristo, despite its smaller followers compared to Roman Catholicism, can be ascribed to its well-structured organization, effective mobilization abilities, and powerful collective political might. To end this discussion, this is where the number of people in a religion as a factor comes in. Population can help determine the extent of the integration mentioned initially. The lesser it is, the high integration and regulation could be.